What's going on, you guys? Slim here, back with a new deck profile for you guys today. And this time I got my updated pure MEKK-KNIGHT deck profile for the end of this November 2020 format. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell. You guys will be notified whenever I upload. You'll also be notified when I stream over on Twitch. The links are in the description. As always, if you guys want to build this deck yourself and purchase the actual cards, please use my TCG player link. It's in the description below. It's no cost to you, and a portion of what you do spend on the cards you buy goes back to the channel. It helps me out, and I really do appreciate it. And last but not least, if you want to further support the channel, consider joining my Patreon. 4 different tiers, nothing over $10. And with that being said, I'd like to welcome my newest patron, Abraham Torres. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for joining the Patreon family. We have a bunch of exclusive content over there that you won't find here on the channel, as well as some other awesome rewards, so consider joining today and further support the channel. With all that out of the way, you guys know how much your boy loves pure MEKK-KNIGHTs. It's not Alistair and Friends, but Pure MEKK-KNIGHT is pretty close to my heart as well. I want to give a shout out, like I do almost every Pure MEKK-KNIGHT deck profile, to the channel Winter Kills, because that's my partner in crime, man. There's no one else that does content for Pure MEKK-KNIGHTs except him, and it's crazy when I think about it. It's one of my just absolute favorite decks, and he is one of the only other channels around that gives this deck the, the notice that it deserves, and I really do appreciate it. I just want to shout him out. He's on his way to 20K subscribers. I just want him to get there as a fellow MEKK-KNIGHT player, of course. But I won't waste any more of your guys' time. We're going to get into it. Our two builds are very different, but definitely check out his build. You'll learn a lot from some of his card selections as compared with mine, so combined you'll definitely learn a lot of stuff about the deck in general. But let's get into it, you guys. For all the MEKK-KNIGHT cards, of course, triple Gearsu, triple purple, triple blue, with 2 copies of indigo, 1 red, 1 yellow, and 1 green, and the target that we send off Gearsu is the Chalice. So before I get to the rest of the MEKK-KNIGHT cards, I'll just explain things real quick for those of you that aren't familiar. So you can play this. There's actually 3 targets you can play. There's World Chalice, there's World Crown, and then there's the World Armor. So I used to play the World Armor and the World Chalice. I never actually tested the World Armor, but Winter Kills plays that card, so like I said, definitely check out his video. You'll learn about why he plays that card. It's an additional extender in the deck. Being able to special it is pretty cool. I just have always played Chalice. Chalice to me just works for the way I play the deck. It's a very tempo based card. You send it off Gearsu, and then during your next turn you'll be able to banish to search. While that does seem slow, it also has a really cool effect. If you bring it back off of World Legacy Secret, you can just distribute it off to like negate a summon. So that's pretty cool, but that doesn't really come up. But I mean, you have the option. I just prefer this card when it comes to my sending targets for Gearsu. All the MEKK-KNIGHTs, like the single ones, a lot of this just comes down to the fact that you need the versatility. This pops face-up monsters, this pops back row, and this one, so everyone forgets about green. So what green does is it is an additional name, which is important. But not only that, 2100 attack, not too bad, but what it does is when it declares an attack with an opponent's monster in the same column, you can target a banished MEKK-KNIGHT, or you can actually target a MEKK-KNIGHT in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So this actually gives you the ability to recycle your MEKK-KNIGHTs, and you may not think that will come up, but trust me, it will. The more games you play with this deck, you will see that that's what happens when you play this deck and you get into the grind games and whatnot. So those are the single MEKK-KNIGHTs. They're for versatility and names. Probably one of the best MEKK-KNIGHTs is Move Man. Move Man is crazy. You already know. Being able to switch zones, switch columns is important. Very good with secrets. Can help you get 2 negates by itself. When you have this plus other MEKK-KNIGHTs, it's just insane. So card is great. Also level 8. That's pretty important for one of the cards we play in the extra deck. And then I don't really need to talk about these. You should know these are the bread and butter of the deck. Purple is your new school wind-up rabbit. Blue search is equal to the number in the column. You can just search infinity with this card sometimes. Like sometimes your opponent just sets it up for you and you just get free searches, baits out traps and back row like it's nobody's business. So these are like the main MEKK-KNIGHT. And then of course Gearsu. When this card came out, like I've said every profile, this changed the deck forever. Just being able to send cards like Chalice, being able to produce a token, being able to give the opponent a token wherever you want it to actually create a column is ridiculous. We didn't have that option before. Obviously, this deck wants to go second. With Gearsu, if we're forced to go first, we at least have better options than we did before. So this card is everything in the deck. So that's all the MEKK-KNIGHT monsters. The MEKK-KNIGHT spells and traps to go with the rest of the MEKK-KNIGHT cards. Triple memory, 1 succession, 1 key, and 2 copies of secrets. So this is like pretty standard in my list. I don't think I've ever really messed with these ratios. Sometimes I'll play 3 copies of secrets. It just depends. This is a 40 card list. I refuse to play this deck at over 40. I just can't do it. This deck needs consistency. It needs to see all its starters. You just want to go bam, bam, bam every MEKK-KNIGHT and just OTK the opponent. Obviously, this is your E-Telly from the deck. Locks you into MEKK-KNIGHT Mekk-Knights, but that doesn't matter. Being able to memories out a purple, banish purple, and then get another Mekk-Knight going is crazy. Being able to just, you know, get out any Mekk-Knight you want when you have secrets on the board, you have multiple negates, being able to shoot out another Mekk-Knight and just be able to do all these crazy combos is nuts. Your Searchable Monster Reborn, this card gets back a banished Mekk-Knight, also negates all trap cards in the same columns. But then this is your skill drain, which is just ridiculous. It's also a Monster Reborn. You can bring back a level 5 or I believe it's level 5 or higher. This card is just crazy. Also a skill drain. When you usually search this off of your Morning Star. So all the pretty basic stuff. Just wanted to go over everything for anyone who's not familiar with anything going on with Mekk-Knights. But that's all the Mekk-Knight cards. Next we got the hand traps. Hand trap selection always changes in this deck, format dependent. Also, just you kind of want to play a lot of 2-ofs. You want multiple hand traps you can use in a turn to slow down the opponent. Double Nibiru, double Ash, double Valor, and triple Imperm is what I chose for my hand traps. I'm not going to explain Imperm. You guys already know this card is ridiculous. Going first or going second. Obviously, we want to go second. This card's great. Shuts off a lot of problematic cards. Valor, I really like. Versatility of using more than one in a turn. We also play some cards in the extra deck that get more mileage with Valor, which I really like. Ash is the most generic. Nibiru, at this point, is damn near generic because you just need to punish all the combo decks. I really wanted to play like 3 Nibiru, 3 Ash, 3 Imperm for like all the standard list. But then I realized by playing Valor in my deck, it gives me access to another OTK combo that I wouldn't have otherwise. So I decided to put it in there, and I've been liking it a lot. I've been testing this deck a lot. I got some pretty cool replays I'm probably going to have over on Patreon to show the patrons. It's pretty cool just how you can come back and how you can steal games by playing Valor in your deck. So it's pretty nuts. But those are the hand traps I chose. I didn't play Droll this time. Droll's been kind of falling out of popularity. Not only that, players got smarter since the last list. They're just being able to just play around Droll a lot better. So for that reason, I cut it. What I did replace some of the cards with was actually 2 copies of Gamma Seal. Now, while I have played this card before, I did not play it in my last list. I missed this card a lot. This card is amazing against so many problematic cards in the format. Cards like Dragoon. You can even catch Calamities with this card, and I say that because not every Calamities player sometimes actually activates it in the draw phase, even though they should. You know, if it gets, you know, if you get past your standby, you go to main phase 1, you get turn player priority, you can just literally Gamma Seal away the problem. Not gonna happen that much. That's why we got cards like Imperm, stuff like that. But Gamma Seal has been amazing for the fact that it lets me create a column wherever I want it, and also gets rid of a problematic monster. To me, it feels like an extra hand trap, so I put it in this section here, and I really like it. I highly suggest you test out Gamma Seal. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to play 3. I played 3. I would play Gamma Seal over any others. You want the lowest one possible. You just want to be able to punch over them with your Mekk-Knights without having to think about it. So that's why I play Gamma Seal. Also, it's a level 8. That rarely comes up, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes it'll come up. But that's it for all the hand traps and stuff. And now I just got the power spells that I play. Triple Dark Ruler, triple Tactic Talents, and 1 Monster Reborn to round out the deck. So to me, this is the superior card in this particular deck. I've seen some lists that do play Forbidden Droplet. For me, Droplet is fine because you have a lot of monsters, but to me, I want those monsters in my hand 9 times out of 10. I want to be shooting off my Mekk-Knights and just going plus and just breaking through everything. Dark Ruler No More, when I go in second, is obviously amazing. It just literally nullifies the whole board. However, I can see why people do like cards like Droplet or more quick play stuff because of Calamities, because of cards that activate, you know, before you can Dark Ruler. But I mean, outside of that, Dark Ruler's been really strong. Just being able to shut off an entire board and then just, you know, just destroy everything is nuts. Talent, I talked about it last list. I still like it over Extra for me just because this lets me summon a Mekk-Knight, they hand trap it, I can draw more cards, I can take a monster, I can rip a card out of hand. There's so many things you can do with this card. I love this card. This last card actually is Reborn. Before it was Harpy's Feather Duster. I played Reborn because it's another extender. Now I know a lot of players do play 2 Succession. My only problem with that is you can only activate 1 Succession in a turn. So to me, if I do have Succession and Reborn, I have 2 Reborns live instead of just 1. So it's just that little added oomph that the deck needs, and I really like it. It's just something I wanted to test as compared with my other lists. But that is it for my main deck, you guys. It is 40 cards even. We'll do the extra deck real quick for you guys. Extra deck is pretty standard. I think there's only a couple changes. The heart and soul of the deck, Morning Star. This card is absolutely insane. If you don't read this card, you lose. This is all I'm gonna say. You lose. If you don't read this card, you lose. Like, there's no way around it. Can't tell you how many times people just don't respect it. Don't read this card. Read your cards, you guys. Like, no joke. This card's broken. Card's amazing. Does everything for the deck. Searches. Has that protection effect, especially if the player doesn't know how to play around it. The card's just amazing. Then I've got, of course, the Spectrum Supreme and the Avermax for the other MEKK-KNIGHT monsters. These just come up. They're very good. Being able to tap directly is crazy. Being able to make this, your opponent can't really get around it. They have a hard time outing it. I just like including it in the deck. So that's all the MEKK-KNIGHT extra deck monsters. Then my generic like Link monsters. I got the one Link Karibo. So Link Karibo comes up for the Gearsu token. That's pretty much it. I guess it could come up like if I'm playing against Lost World Dino or something like that, or something. I don't know. Like, mostly I'm using it on my turn when I Gearsu, so that's why it's there. I'm not playing All Mirage anymore. You can't play All Mirage for the hand trap, so you have that option as well. But I wanted to play another engine instead. 2 copies of Lib. That's pretty standard. This card is obscene. Generic Link 2. Literally non-targeting spin when it uses a Link summon. Like, it's crazy. Like, this card is ridiculous. Also helps you get another World Legacy card, so the card is insane. I don't know why it's a generic Link 2. I'll never understand why they made it like that, but I'm not complaining. I think the card's broken in this deck. Unicorn, just standard Link climbing. The BLS, you make this card a crap ton in this deck, and I'm not exaggerating. I make this card like it's my job in this deck. All the MEKK-KNIGHTs are freaking huge, so being able to just make a protected BLS, so many decks struggle against the card. That's why I play it. It's just that good. It is one of my favorite cards that needs to get a reprint, by the way. Definitely needs to get a reprint. But yeah, it's one of the best Link 3s in my opinion. And then I am playing the Galatea and the Dingirsu, so that's why I was saying this is good if you have the level 8s. It doesn't come up a lot, but sometimes it will. Galatea is very strong though in this deck because you can make it obviously with Gearsu, and then literally you just make it and you just slap this on top of this, you get rid of a problem. So that's the reason it's in here, just generically good stuff. So just wanted to make sure it was included. And then the last engine I'm trying out that's actually been stupid, like literally stupid, is Needle Fiber, Selene, and Access Code because of the Veiler. Now you guys can make the argument that you're only playing 2 Veiler. It don't matter, man. Like, this thing is just dumb. Like, you can also bring out off of Fiber, you can bring out Ash Blossom and stuff. Like, you can do a lot of crazy things with this. And yeah, I don't know. This engine's been really stupid. Like, you can also just climb into this off of your Unicorn as well, but this is just the added little oomph you need, and then you just blow up everything, and the opponent loses. This goes to like 53, and then you just punch everything, and the game's over. So this card's amazing. Opponent can't respond to this card, so it outs so many problematic cards in the format. I just wanted to try it out in this deck once I realized it was possible, and I'll tell you right now, it's just been very good for me. But that is the deck, you guys. Pure MEKK-KNIGHTs, new format. You know, I love this deck to death, and it's something I want more people to get on. You know, like I said, shout out to Winter Kills being one of the only other people that really does acknowledge Pure MEKK-KNIGHTs. I think everyone focuses on MEKK-KNIGHT Invoked, and don't get me wrong, that's easily one of my favorite decks of all time. But I'm not going to deny how much I love Pure MEKK-KNIGHTs as well. Pure MEKK-KNIGHTs to me is just such a fun deck to play, and as anyone knows, once you learn to play this deck, like, you just have a newfound understanding and a newfound respect for going second decks. And I'll tell you right now, that's what it's all about. Like, I love MEKK-KNIGHTs. I think MEKK-KNIGHTs are just so strong. They're just so cool as well. They're just like free bodies, you guys. They're free bodies, and they just do so much all together. And I mean, to me, it just makes for one really fun, really crazy deck that I think is just hugely underrated and very underrepresented in our format. But hopefully one day that will change, and hopefully videos like this will inspire you to build the deck. That's all I got to say, you guys. Thank you guys for your continued support. Smash that like button if you enjoyed. If you're playing Pure MEKK-KNIGHTs, let me know what you're playing in your deck different than mine, and we can definitely continue to make the deck better together. But that's all I got for today, you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.